Hey guys, it's Mrs. Moylan and Miss Dalton, and we are here to go over your study guide real quick for your integers test. So, number one, the highest point in the United States is 2,320 feet. That's the highest point. The lowest point is located in California, and that is at negative 282 feet. What is the difference? So if I'm underlining my question and I'm boxing my clues, then I need to make sure that I understand that difference is that key word that's telling me what to do. And difference, of course, means subtract. So if I was going to look at this as a number sentence, I would say 20,320 minus negative 282. But instead of subtracting, I'm going to add the opposite. So this would become addition, and this would become the opposite, which would be positive. And then I'd add them all together. The other way of thinking about that is when you are talking about absolute value. So if I had them all on a number line and I wanted to go from 20,320 feet all the way down to 0, that would of course be 20,320 feet. And then from 0 to 282 feet below, I'm just adding those two numbers together. Number two, which point on the number line best represents the opposite of negative 5? So here's negative 5, and the opposite would of course be at positive 5. So that would be letter D. Number three, which city has the coldest high temperatures? So if I put them all on a thermometer or on a number line, and I'm looking at the coldest, it's going to be the negative one that's furthest away from 0. And that would be negative 6, so that would be city C. Which city has the warmest high temperature? Again, looking at my thermometer, and that would be positive 6, and that would be city B. Number 5, reading the equation and deciding if it's true or false. So if I look at that first one, the absolute value of 4 is negative 4. That is false because absolute value is always positive. The absolute value of 20 is 20. That's true. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. That's also true because it's 5 steps away from 0. And the absolute value of 16 is not negative 16, so that would be false. Number 6, what are the opposites? So the opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. The opposite of positive 17 is negative 17, and the opposite of negative 90 is 90. Write the addition number sentence for the model. So I see that I have got positives, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm adding that to 2 negatives. 7 plus positive 2, this creates a 0 pair, that creates a 0 pair, and what I'm left with is 5 positives. Number 9, a whale is located 75 feet below sea level. So that's why it's negative 75. If the whale ascends, meaning he's going up 50 feet, what integer expresses the whale's new position? So this is an excellent time to use a diagram. If I'm at 0, and the whale is at negative 75, and it takes 50 steps up, where is it going to land? Well, we know that it's not going to make it all the way back to 0 because it's only taking 50 steps. So it's going to make it to negative 25 feet. Number 10, the Coast Guard rescuer climbs down a ladder from a helicopter 20 feet at a time. He did this 10 times. What was his overall change in elevation? So we're looking at what he did, not exactly where he is, but what his change in elevation is. So he started at 0. This would be the helicopter. From the helicopter, the first time he goes down 20. The next time he goes down another 20. This is just like the one that you made a video on. If he keeps going down 10 times, he's going to end up at negative 200 feet. Number 11, the temperature in Anchorage, Alaska is negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So looking at a thermometer, and we're going all the way down to negative 15 degrees. And then in Juneau, the temperature is 2 degrees. So now we're going all the way up to +2. How many degrees warmer was the temperature in Juneau than Alaska? So to get to 0, that would be 15 steps. To get to 2, that would be 2 steps. So it is 17 degrees warmer. The low temperature for 3 days in the winter was -5, -11, and -5. What was the average low temperature? So when it says average, it's asking about the mean. To find the mean, you have to add all 3 of the temperatures and then divide by 3. So if I add -5 plus -11 plus -5, I get -21. And -21 divided by +3 will give me -7. So -7 degrees was the average. Number 13, all we have to do for this one is label the quadrants. So this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Makes a big letter C. Number 14, the ordered pair that describes the location of the store. So remember, X is always first, and then Y. So the X for the store would be -2, and the Y for the store would be +3. The place that's located at +3, -4 is the school. The park is located in quadrant 3. And the ones that are reflections are the library and the school. And the last question, what is the distance between the park and the school? So if I'm walking from the park to the school, I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So it would be 5 blocks. Make sure that you get your study guide signed for those 5 bonus points on your test tomorrow and get a good night's rest because you got a big test tomorrow.